Welcome back to All Things Jazz. Homebody Club is exactly how I would name the title of the show. I really wanted to make this video for the girl that is trying to lose weight. Today I want to talk about how I lost 20 pounds, and it's not the type of video that you're probably imagining. This isn't gonna be you need to do this, you need to eat that kind of video. It's about what changed, yes, physically, but also emotionally, somatically, the release of not only the additional weight I was carrying physically, but internally and emotionally. The real transformation is starting to feel safe in my body. For a really long time, I thought that my body was the problem. So I had this really bad relationship with my body to the point where I was treating it so badly. I was speaking to myself unkindly. It just wasn't a healthy relationship. It's like I was basically the abuser to my own body. I was calling myself fat. I was telling myself I wasn't enough. I would get angry with myself. I thought if I could take control with my food, with my really bad relationship at that time, with all of these environmental things, I'm gonna take control. What I learned was my body wasn't resisting me, and my body wasn't the enemy. It was my own mind. My body was protecting me from what I had gone through. My weight gain happened when I was in a very abusive relationship, and when I was also going through a really bad emotional time in my life. I had gone through something really traumatic, and so my body responded with a crazy weight change. I'm talking 20 pounds in less than 90 days. And I didn't know what was going on, and I was angry and I was frustrated, and I said, I'm just fat, I'm out of shape. But my body was trying to protect itself. In the fitness industry, holistic somatic practice is not something that's really talked about, but I learned that the body keeps score. The body stores trauma. And women, when we store trauma, our body really feels it physically. Let's start with the physical change, right? These are things that you physically do, that you're actively doing. Consistency is key. You usually hear that the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. Number one was the nutrition. Gut health. I'm just gonna sum it up. I'm not gonna get all scientific. I know I could show you guys articles, all this stuff. Your gut is your second brain. That's why they say you feel it in your gut. Your nervous system is very directly linked to the gut. When you don't eat, you're causing yourself unnecessary amounts of stress on the body. It thinks it's in survival mode. That's why you're gonna feel more anxious. You're gonna feel more burnt out. That's why if you literally have coffee on an empty stomach, you're going to crash because your cortisol levels spike from the amount of stress you're putting your body through. What I stopped doing was skipping meals, trying to starve myself. I started eating balanced meals. That meant fiber, protein. A lot of people focus on high protein diets. I'm all about high protein, but women need more than protein because we have hormones. Our digestive system needs fiber because the average American is not even intaking the amount of fiber that we need in our diet. I started moving my body gently. It started with the treadmill, and then I incorporated strength training, and then my steps. I always say you can go into the gym and then never move your body for the rest of the day. I never recommend that. I don't want you in the gym for 2 hours at a time. You can be in the gym and get a 30-minute really great strength training session in, and then get your steps in. Steps are very important. Your body needs to be moving. The more stagnant we are, right? When we go back to energy and somatic release, you're stagnant, you're still. What happens when you stay in the same place for too long? See what I did there? Sleep and rest. If you are not sleeping, if you are not resting, that I'd probably say that's the most important. Your body, if it is sleep deprived, will not function the way it needs to, and it will not recover. Basics in strength training. When you work out, you tear muscle fiber. No recovery means there's no how are your muscle fibers going to recover. Rest. The biggest tip I can give you is I stopped trying to control my body and I started trying to take care of it. That was the biggest shift. Relationship you are forming with your body is the most important relationship you're going to have. Your body carries you through every season of life. Now that's the physical portion. There's a lot of science to back a lot of the things that I was saying, but something that is not talked about enough for a woman, and it's a reason why I couldn't lose weight for a long time, was the nervous system. I mean, when you think about the nervous system, it controls every part of our being. If your nervous system is constantly stressed, aka your cortisols are so high on a day-to-day basis, caused from toxic stress, toxic environments, disrupting your nervous system, and you will stay in survival mode. When your body's in survival mode, it is going to be much harder to lose weight. When you have chronic stress, emotional overload, your body is literally telling itself, I need to protect myself. It's not safe enough to relax. It's constantly on go. Let's talk about the emotional trauma tied to the body. When you experience emotional trauma, it is not like, oh, I experienced something traumatic. No, emotional trauma impacts different areas of your body, such as your digestion, your nervous system, your emotional regulation. For a lot of women, your weight gain can either be one of three things: a form of protection, your body is trying to protect itself, a way to stay grounded, or a layer of armor that your body is trying to survive on. This doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It's that our bodies are wired to work this way. We're gonna be talking somatic release, and I need you to trust me for a second, because when I first started somatic release, I thought it was woo-woo. I bought a textbook to see the actual legitimacy of somatic. Somatic release can start like this: slowing down instead of pushing through, which is something that was really hard for me to do since I lived in survival mode for most of my life. So when people said slow down, rest, I thought laziness, excuses, not worthy, not enough. So I had to change my mindset, right? The way I was speaking to my body and myself. I suppressed a lot of emotion, and I think that it was definitely generational trauma, cultural trauma. I was holding on to so much. I suppressed so much, and I thought, if I can keep it there and no one will ever know about it, then I am safe. But that is not safety, that is survival. And I learned the art of releasing, of crying. I used to be such a sensitive kid, and I grew up and I found myself not being able to cry, which was very unusual. And I said, something is wrong here. When did I stop crying or releasing what I felt? And then it turned into frustration and anger, and I held it so deep inside of me. And I had to learn to let go. And a lot of us cannot let go. So when I lost the weight and I let go of the weight, I didn't just let go of physical weight. I let go of emotional weight that I had been carrying for so long. And it took years to get to this point. And I'm still not done. We're still doing the work. But that meant being aware of my body, being one with my breath, letting out a deep sigh when I was pissed, when I was angry, because all those things get stored in your body. I realized that I'm not reliving the trauma, I'm releasing the trauma. And that's what matters. So this is where the turning point happened in my weight loss journey. My nervous system was regulated and I was out of survival mode. So much change, and it's still really difficult some days, because if you're not used to a healed nervous system, it can feel very scary and it can feel like, what's going on, because I'm so well rested. When I experienced a regulated nervous system, number one, my cravings changed. I used to really crave sugary things. The smell of McDonald's French fries was a big one. It was my comfort. Food was comfort. I didn't comfort myself, I would go to Wendy's down the street. When I couldn't comfort myself, I would binge eat on snacks. But when I had a healed nervous system, I found myself reaching for fruit. Oh, I need to hydrate. My body needs hydration. I'm feeling anxious. I'm not feeling that well. My digestion improved on top of that, right? Because I'm starting to have these balanced meals. I don't feel like I need to comfort myself with these bad habits. My relationship with food softened up. I'm not over here trying to take control and starve myself. Instead, I'm like, food is great. Food is fuel. And my body stopped bracing and holding on to the amount of stress I was putting it under. The weight came off because I felt safer. And that is the secret to my personal weight loss journey. It was the release of my trauma. and my emotions that I had been suppressing. What I would tell any woman that is struggling today with weight loss, weight gain, I want you to ask yourself 3 things. Number 1, am I trying to control my body or take care of it? Number 2, am I rested or am I constantly stressed? Number 3, which is hard, but do I feel safe in my own body? I want you to start focusing on regulation, not restriction, compassion with your body before trying to be consistent, and safety before trying to discipline yourself. Your body has to feel safe. Your body isn't failing you. It's trying to communicate something. Are you going to listen or are you going to shut it off? I'm sure it's not nice when you've tried to speak with someone and they're constantly ignoring you and not wanting to listen to what you have to say. I don't want you to keep fighting your body, okay? This should not feel like you are constantly in a battle with your body and they're not listening, right? How annoying is it when you're trying to speak with someone and get your point across and they're only listening to argue back? Your body's trying to communicate something with you. You need to listen. I need you to understand that you are so worthy of anything you set your mind to, but I always say you have to heal the relationship with your body in order to truly see change. You can lose weight and put it all the way back on. So many of us don't want to talk about it, but somatic release is life-changing, and I pray that every woman gets to experience self-love, self-worth, and understanding more about themselves. And I want you to know that you are never alone in this process. My journey was super lonely, and I promised myself I never want any other woman to feel that way. Hope you guys like this conversation. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, all that jazz. And welcome to the Homebody Club.